Namaskar, my dear students. Hope you are all fine and doing well at your places. And today I am going to start with the next chapter of the unit genetics, and the name of the chapter is Molecular Basis of Inheritance. Dear students, till now we have been studying the behavior of the chromosomes and how the characters are inherited from one generation to another. Now, since we have come to the point that gene is the hereditary unit and is responsible for the inheritance. The concept of the gene is of more importance because its physical and chemical nature is the foundation stone of all the genetic principles. It is said that genes are the catalyst which bring about reactions, and themselves they remain unchanged or consumed. Since the gene is a part of DNA and it is made up of nucleotides, now we have to study the chemical nature of the genes, that is the DNA, and how they are associated with the various chemical compounds are associated with each other to make the nature of the gene possible. The genetic information is conveyed from DNA to mRNA. Gene is the ultimate unit of recombination. The term gene, it was coined by Wilhelm Johansen in the year 1909 for the hereditary factors of the Mendel. And gene, in its modern definition, if you consider the modern definition of the gene, gene is the unit of genetic information. What is that? It is a sequence of DNA that specifies one polypeptide. It includes coding as well as non-coding regulatory sequences. Gene can be defined as the ultimate unit of recombination, ultimate unit of mutation, and self-reproduction. Again, to be very precise, gene is a macromolecule attached to the undifferentiated protein threads, that is chromonema, that can pass from one cell to another and can be transmitted from one generation to another without being themselves changed at all. Now in this figure you can see some more definition which we must understand before I continue with the topic. How they are interrelated, intercoiled among each other. First, the gene, as we have discussed, is the basic unit of information, determines the inherited characters. Now, sum total of gene is called as genome, the collection of all the genetic materials within an living individual is called as genome. Now, genome are the genes. They are located on the chromosomes. So, what are the chromosomes in this context? They are the storage units of the genes. They are like the vehicles on which the genes travel like the passengers. And all these materials, they are made up of DNA, deoxyribose nucleic acid. DNA is a nucleic acid that contains genetic instructions specifying the biological development of all the cellular forms of the life. Again, I must explain that genes are located on the chromosomal threads which run along the entire length of the chromosomes. Total number of genes present on the haploid set is called as genome. The genes are very fine structure and this is very difficult to measure it directly. But we have made some ways to measure it and know its nature. Chemically, gene contains DNA as a component. Now let us discuss some characteristics of the genetic material, that is what are the various characteristics that it exhibits, the genetic material, the genes, the genome, or the chromosome, or the DNA. Any substance which forms the heritable material must fulfill some essential requirements. And what are those requirements? It must be stable, it must be transmittable, it must be replicable, and it must be mutable. So these are the various characteristics that a genetic material must exhibit. I will explain these points. Genes are capable of doing the functions like the duplication of the genetic material by faithful replication and its precise distribution among the new cells by cell division. It should be able to undergo mutations. It should be able to mutate. It should be able to undergo mutations. Such a change should be stably inherited also. It should be able to express its genetic information by transcription to mRNA and finally produce the proteins. Chemically, genes are made up of DNA. Now, because genes are made up of DNA, so we must know the nature of the DNA. So far as DNA is concerned, deoxyribose nucleic acid. This is the DNA. Chromosomes are made up of nucleoproteins which constitute basic protein and nucleic acids. Two kinds of nucleic acids, however, are known to us. One is DNA and other is RNA, deoxyribose nucleic acid and ribose nucleic acid respectively. The molecular organization of the nucleic acid, especially DNA, has received a good attention in the recent years. However, the nucleic acids were first of all reported by Frederick Meesker in 1869 from the nuclei of the pus cells. That was the discovery of the DNA, and it was regarded as a acidic substance present in the nucleus and was identified by Meesker. And at that time, DNA was called as the nuclein. However, in the cytoplasm, they have been found associated with the protein synthesis. The DNA and RNA are recognized on the basis of presence of the three materials and the three components of which the DNA is made up of. First is the deoxyribose sugar. However, the sugar in the RNA is the ribose sugar. Then second is the phosphate group, and third is the nitrogenous base. So we can say that DNA is made up of three components: sugar, phosphate group, and the nitrogenous base. Now, how they are arranged and what they form, let us discuss in little detail. But first of all, I will talk in little detail about the nitrogenous bases. Now, the nitrogenous bases, they are of two types. First are called as the purines and second are called as the pyrimidines, as you can see in this figure. The purines, they consist of adenine, guanine, and they constitute the dicyclic in nature. That is, their structure is the double ringed structure. However, the pyrimidines, they are mostly noticed pyrimidines in DNA. They are the thiamine and cytosine, whereas in uracil is the pyrimidine which is present in RNA, and it replaces thiamine. In case of RNA, we have cytosine and uracil. In case of DNA, we have cytosine and thiamine. This is the difference between the nucleotides of the DNA and the RNA. The pyrimidines are six-membered single-ringed structure. As you can see, they are the monocyclic, whereas the purines, they are the dicyclic. So these are the various types of the nitrogenous compounds which are found in the nucleic acids, and you can see in this figure it becomes more clear that adenine and guanine, which are the purines, they are having double ring structure, whereas the pyrimidines, which are cytosine and thiamine, in case of DNA, and cytosine and uracil in case of RNA, they are the monocyclic, are the single ringed structures. Now, I have to tell you that nucleotides and nucleosides are the two terms which are often used while discussing the structure of the DNA. Now, what are these nucleotides and nucleosides? Nucleosides are formed by purine or pyrimidine nitrogenous base and a pentose sugar, and they are linked by N-glycosidic linkage, whereas nucleotide, purines, pyrimidine nitrogenous base, joined by a sugar, pentose sugar, which is further linked to the phosphate group, is called as the nucleotide. Now, what is nucleotide? It consists of a nitrogenous base and sugar, whereas nitrogenous base plus sugar plus phosphoric acid, it forms nucleotide. Nucleoside is a compound formed by the union of nitrogenous base and the pentose sugar. It is component of the nucleotide. It is highly basic in nature because phosphoric acid is not present here. Whereas when the phosphoric acid joins the nucleoside, it becomes the nucleotide, which is the basic unit of the DNA. It consists of nitrogenous base, pentose sugar and phosphate, as you can see in this figure. And because of phosphorylation of the nucleoside, the nucleotide is formed, acid is added, hence it is highly acidic in nature, because of which it gets the name deoxyribose nucleic acid. Now, if you have understood the differences between the DNA nucleoside and nucleotide, I must tell you that let us discuss about the sugar. In DNA, deoxyribose type of sugar is present as compared to RNA, where a ribose sugar is present. So this is the chemical nature of the DNA. Now, I will talk about the different forms of DNA, because in nature we have different forms of DNA and we have categorized them as aDNA, bDNA, cDNA, dDNA, eDNA and zDNA. We will be discussing the basic differences between these different types of DNA. But so let us find out that what are the various differences between the B, A and Z form of DNA, which are the most commonly found. bDNA is a right-handed helical structure. Also, aDNA is a right-handed helical structure. In fact, all are right-handed helical structure except zDNA, which is left-handed helical structure. The major grooves, it is present in B and A DNA. However, you can see in this figure, the major groove is not present in the Z DNA. Now, base pairs per helical form. There are 10.5 in B DNA. In A DNA, they are 11 and in Z DNA, they are 12. Glycosidic bond conformation is anti in case of B and A DNA, whereas it is syn in case of anti and syn both in Z DNA, anti for pyrimidines and syn for purines. Now, helical rise per base pair in case of bDNA is 3.5 angstrom, that is difference between the two nucleotides. That is 2.6 in aDNA and 3.7 in zDNA. Base tilt, it is 6 degrees in case of bDNA, 20 in aDNA, 7 in zDNA. It is 3.03 in DNA and 3.32 in cDNA. So these are the base tilts, and then is the structure. You can see in the figure how does it look like because of the above characters that it is having. Now these various terms, the helical groove, major groove, helical form, helical rise, you will understand if you take into consideration the basic structure of the DNA. So now I shall be discussing first the Chargaff's rule of DNA. What is this Chargaff's rule? The Chargaff's rule, it was given by Erwin Chargaff in the year 1940, who quantitatively analyzed the DNA in the hydrolyzed form. The What was the Chargaff's rule? He said that 2 out of the 3 acid groups of phosphoric acids are utilized by its characteristic 3-5- phosphodiester bond. Erwin Chargaff measured the quantity of the bases in DNA and noticed that adenine is equal to thymine, so purines are always equal to pyrimidines. A few other interesting facts about DNA, that quantitatively A is equal to T, that is ratio of A to T is 1. Quantitatively C is equal to G, that is C by G is equal to 1. Or in other hands, you can say that A plus G is equal to T plus C. A plus C is equal to G plus T. However, ratio of A plus T by C by G, it usually differs and it is specific for a species. This was the Chargaff's rule. And now we will discuss the very widely accepted, very prestigious structure of the DNA, the model of DNA as proposed by James Watson and Francis Crick in the year 1953. What was the model they proposed? The model proposed was the helical structure, for which they were awarded the Nobel Prize. The 2 strands of DNA are helically coiled in such a fashion that the base molecules of 2 DNA strands are linked together by weak hydrogen bond to constitute the base pairs. As you can see in this figure, the A is linked to T and C is linked to G always. So 1 purine to 1 pyrimidine. So the 2 right-handed helices are coiled in the interlocked form about the same axis. Each turn of the double helix contains 10 pairs of nucleotides. It contains, you can well understand from this figure also that how the things are arranged over here. Each turn, it contains 10 paired nucleotides, and distance between the 2 nucleotides is, you can see here, the distance between the 2 nucleotides is 3.4 angstroms. Now by X-ray diffraction method, DNA in crystalline stage, the double helix makes 1 full turn every 34 angstroms. That is, this is 1 turn from one major group to another major group. Adenine is always paired with thymine and guanine always pairs with the cytosine. Adenine thymine shows the presence of hydrogen bond, and guanine which is double, that is A and G are linked with each other by a double bond, and cytosine, guanine and cytosine are linked with the triple hydrogen bond. The 2 chains of DNA molecule runs in opposite or anti-parallel direction. What I mean to say by anti-parallel direction? This means that carbon atom at 5' chain, you can see here it is written 3' and 5'. One strand is showing the 3' end and other is showing the 5' end. It is this means that the 2 chains are parallel, but their 5', 3' directions are opposite. That is called as anti-parallel. The polynucleotide chain in DNA shows polarity, that is direction. One end of each chain is called as the 5', And this is on what basis? The last deoxyribose unit, the sugar unit at this end, has the carbon atom at the 5 dash free. I mean to say that if the last sugar atom, uh, sugar molecule has the 5 dash carbon atom free, this stands for 5 dash end of the strand. The other end of the strand is termed as 3 dash end on the similar basis. In each chain, the phosphate component carried by the carbon atom at 5 dash end of the sugar in one nucleotide unit is joined by the phosphodiester bond to the hydroxyl component of the carbon atom at the 3 dash position of the sugar in the next nucleotide. This is the orientation of the DNA strand. Such alternating sugar phosphate component, actually they form the backbone of the DNA like this. They form the backbone of the DNA, and now it is twisted. It is twisted in this way, in the right-handed manner. The nitrogenous bases molecules are attached with sugar molecule by glycosidic bond. The glycosidic bond appears between first carbon atom of the sugar and nitrogen at the position 1 in case of pyrimidine base, and at position 9 in case of purine nitrogenous base. Adenine always combines with thiamine of the other chain. Again, listen to me. Adenine combines with thiamine of the other chain with two weak hydrogen bond, that is double bond. Now cytosine always combines with guanine CG linkage with the triple bond, 3 hydrogen bond. Thus the two chains are complementary to each other, not similar to each other but complementary to each other. That is, one is not complete without the other. That is called as complementary. X-ray diffraction patterns of DNA have been isolated from different organisms and are found to be essentially same in all the cases, and this work was done by Wilkins, Franklin and Astbury. So this is the structure of the DNA. Now one thing more which I must explain here, he has written minor groove and major groove. The difference between the minor groove and major groove is very clear from this figure. That is, where the shortest length of the twist is there, that is called as the minor groove, that is this one. And where the longest or the largest twist is there, that is called as the major groove. And total length is considered of a DNA chain is about 20 angstroms. So these are the various characteristics of the DNA as proposed by Watson and Crick. So that's all for today. Thank you very much. Hope you have understood this topic thoroughly. So I would suggest you to go through the topic more than once so as to have a complete understanding. That's all for today.